This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Don't shake your body.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out you.
14 minutes into the hour, Kelly Kincaid is here, and she's here to help improve your life, body, mind, and soul and spirit.
Yes.
And today we're talking about...
Well, Saturday is National HIV Testing Day. And today we have HIV/AIDS activist Maria Davis here. Good morning.
Okay, let's talk on that mic, Maria.
Good morning.
And then turn your headphones up right there. It's not... Yeah, plug her headphones in for me, DB. I need Maria to hear us. You know, because if she don't, she gonna start yelling at us. And I've been yelled at by Maria Davis before. It's not something you want to experience.
Maria's about her business. Well, you can hear now. So we're going to talk about Saturday is National HIV Testing Day. Sway, did you know globally over 35 million people are living with HIV? And just in the United States alone, over 1.2 million are living with it. And actually 1 out of 7 United States citizens are living with it and don't even know it. So Saturday is a very important day.
Yes.
And Maria, you know, you've been a long time HIV/AIDS activist, and why is this so dear to your heart?
Well, you know, not only am I an activist, but I'm also a survivor. So I was sharing with Sway today that I am 20 years living with HIV, 17 with AIDS.
Wow. 17 years with
17 years with AIDS. Don't I look good? Oh, my God.
I just said you
Let
haven't
me
even
slap
aged.
myself.
Damn. You look great.
Thank you.
And you know, as far as the stats, African American women numbers are very high. What's your story? 17 years ago, you were diagnosed with HIV?
No, 20 years ago, I was diagnosed with HIV. I found out through a life insurance policy and a letter, opened a letter in the mail, and standing in the post office, it said to me, "Dear Ms. Davis, we're sorry to inform you, you've been rejected for the life insurance policy, but let me tell you something. You have something else you need to be concerned with, and that is you have the HIV antibody in your blood. Please seek help."
So 20 years ago, this wasn't really as far as a big national HIV testing day. Did you do it regularly? Because normally it's every 6 months. Were you regularly testing? Had you missed a month, 6 months testing, or what?
You know, the crazy thing was I always got tested every year. And this particular year I got tested and didn't go back for my results. So that was the most profound thing. And then when I got tested by the life insurance company, I was like, they make you take an HIV test, but apparently they don't want any pre-existing conditions. So I took the HIV test. I was like, oh, this is a gay white man's disease, because back then, you know, in the early 90s, that's what we thought. You know, African American women, you know, men who have sex with men, you know, all the community, African Latino community, we did not see us a lot.
Right.
And all we saw dying was gay white men. So we thought we were immune to this, but we weren't, because it didn't have anything to do with your color. It didn't have anything to do with where you were financially. It's a virus. And if you don't get tested and you don't use condoms, you know what? Like Uncle Sam, it will get you.
How did you contract it?
I contracted it because, I am going to be honest, I didn't love myself a lot. And although, you know, my Mad Wednesday and I was beautiful and everybody wanted to be with me, but I didn't love me. And this stemmed from when I was a child, you know, going through my trials and tribulations. So I was dating a gentleman, and he was not honest with me. And this is another point we, you know, have to tell women or tell people that are in dating or married, that you have to be honest. There has to be a truthful conversation going on somewhere between you and your partner, that if they are not monogamous, then you need to talk about it. And then you have to give that other individual the opportunity to say, okay, you're seeing other people, I'm willing to stay with you, but guess what? We need to get tested and we need to use condoms.
That's why Saturday is so important. I know that you campaign this. This is a life thing for you.
Yes.
But what are some things people who are afraid? Because I have to admit, I do get tested regularly, but when I'm sitting there waiting for the results, it's scary. Even though you're practice safe sex, you know, it's a scary feeling. What can you tell those people out there, like on Saturday is National HIV Testing Day. If you haven't gotten tested, go.
Well, hold up. Let's come back with that answer. And then we're also going to open up the phone lines for anybody who has HIV. If you're living with HIV, or if you know someone who's living with HIV or AIDS, 888-742-3345. Give us a call.
And now, more First Aid with Kelly Kincaid on Shade 45.
That woman's voice is the voice of the guest we have today, the one and only Maria Davis. We got a chance to work with Jay-Z and Dame Dash back in the Reasonable Doubt era of 22 Twos and did that interlude with them. How great was that moment for you?
Oh, it was good because, you know, I always had Jay-Z at all my venues at that time. At Mad Wednesday. He's following me from the Essos to the Country Club, Bar 85. So they really kind of, you know, boosted, you know, who I was in the community. And plus, I've always been a community activist. That's why they put me on the album, because I was always cussing people out, telling them off. You know, that's
right.
what, you know, that's what I like to do, Sway.
Yeah, you got me a couple of times, too. I felt honored. Okay, so Kelly, we're talking about HIV awareness, right?
Yes, and on Saturday is National HIV Testing Day. And Maria, you are well-known in the community and across the country, an HIV activist. You just were telling us 20 years ago you got your results saying that you were positive for HIV, and you've been living with AIDS for 17 years. And I just wanted to ask you a question. Ask you, what would you tell that person who has never been tested, that is sexually active, to go get tested? Because on Saturday it's free all across the country. There's so many testing centers. What would you tell them?
First, I would tell them, you know, people always come up to me saying, "Oh, Maria, I get tested every 6 months." That is not a good thing. When you know your status, you get tested. You know your status if you're HIV negative. Then what do you do to stay negative? And then if you're HIV positive, what do you do to stay living healthy, like myself, for so many years? So it's important to get tested, but education is even more important.
Right.
And you know, I am a representative of a campaign called I Design, and is a Merck's national HIV campaign, and it empowers people living with HIV to have open and honest conversations with their doctor about their individualized care. Because, you know, my treatment is different than someone else's treatment, so it's not, you know, one size fits all. And they have a website. Let me tell you, when I was first diagnosed, there was no website. I Design website at projectidesign.com. There was nobody to tell me this is the blueprint. This is what you need to do. So when I first got diagnosed, I thought I was going to die immediately because I didn't know anybody that was I didn't know any African-American women that were in the community speaking up and telling me this information. All we knew was Magic Johnson, and I couldn't call him. I couldn't dial his number and say, "Magic, listen, what do I need to do?"
Yeah.
But the important thing, why I'm empowered and still here, is because I decided that this is something I have to live with for the rest of my life. There's no cure for HIV, and I want people to know that's why it's so important to get tested and to protect yourself and make sure that your loved one or your significant other that you're dealing with also loves you enough to protect you and protect themselves.
Yeah.
But, you know, you have such a positive outlook on life. But there's people out there who have HIV, who are HIV positive and don't feel that way. What could you, because I'm sure you've had some down times. How did you get through them?
Well, my faith, of course. You know, I'm also a member of First Corinthian Baptist Church. I'm one of the leaders there of the Imani ministry. So my faith, and then my faith family was very important. And being around positive people that no matter what I was diagnosed with, that still love me. You know, Johnny Kemp just passed away, and he was one of them. And that, you know, when I spoke at his funeral, people were crying when I said, when I told him that I had AIDS, that did not stop him from kissing me. Because he would give me these long, sloppy kisses. I'd be like, "Cut it out, Johnny, cut it." But that was so profound.
Right.
You know, and I needed people like that in my life. And being an activist, like I shared with Kim from Cohen and Wolf, I said, being an activist saved my life. It was imperative that I become an activist, because being an activist educated me and let me know how powerful I was. And everybody in life is going to go through something. It doesn't necessarily have to be HIV and AIDS. It might be the loss of a loved one. But how do you contain yourself and come back? And I do it through prayer. And, you know, I'm not trying to push, you know, God on anyone, but you have to have something that's higher power than you are.
Right.
We got JB on the line from Connecticut, and he's a survivor of HIV. And if that's you, too, you could call up and talk about it. 888.
That's right. Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. 888-742-3345. JB, you there?
Good morning, Sway in the morning, everybody in the crew.
Good
What
morning.
up, JB? JB! Say hello to Maria Davis, JB.
Hey, Maria Davis, how you doing?
Hi, JB. How you doing?
Hey, I'm just hanging in there. The reason why I love this show is because it all started on YouTube, and it's because of topics like this, you know. And then all of a sudden today, I'm just listening, and boom, it hits right home. It hits right home. Basically, the reason why I called is because from 20 kids from back in Puerto Rico, where I'm from 20 kids from the hospital, I'm the only one that's alive right now.
Wow.
Like, everybody, all the doctors, everybody was like, he's not going to reach 18. He's not going to reach 18. And thanks God, I'm 25, going on 26.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. That's great.
beautiful.
What is your regimen like on a daily basis? Like Maria was saying, everyone, is different. Like what kind of medications you have to take. What is your regimen like on a daily basis, JB?
Well, like I said, I have to drink four pills twice a day.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the morning and then at night time and all that.
That's not bad.
It's not. Hey, Sway, it is bad when they're like huge. They look like rocks and stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay. My bad, man. Because back in the day, I know people used to take 20 pills, right? What is your regimen like, Maria?
Well, it's not so much important about what my regimen is. It's that I see my doctor on a regular basis, and I make sure that I heed to what my medication treatment is. But it's not just taking medication. I exercise.
Okay.
Listen, I'm over 50 now. I'm that new population that they're talking about, that half of the population in 2015 will be over 50 living with HIV. So I exercise, which is very important. So now it's HIV and AIDS is viewed as a chronic illness. So therefore, now I'm not so much concerned about the HIV because now I'm over 50, so I have to deal with other health concerns like menopause, like arthritis, Arthur meeting me. But what I do is exercise, I pray, and I stay positive and stay around positive people, and that's what helps me live.
Okay, JB, thank you for sharing your story, JB.
You're welcome. No problem, Sway.
Hey, JB, you officially a citizen of Sway in the Morning, okay?
Thank you very much.
God bless you,
All
JB.
right. Kelly,
Okay.
Kelly, can you give information for people who want to get free tests this weekend? How can it happen?
Yes, I'm going to put all the information on swaysuniverse.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at Kelly Kincaid, KELLYKINKAID. But there's a lot of information on AIDS.gov. And Maria, what are you doing on Saturday?
On Saturday, I'm doing the Faith Walk, but I must say also we cannot forget this weekend is Gay Pride Weekend.
Yeah.
Right.
So, they have a lot of events going on and a lot of testings too, and especially up in Harlem. So we're doing the Faith Walk. We walk from 140th Street and Lenox Avenue. We meet at 10 a.m. and then we convene on 125th Street where we have a big health fair. Then I have Comedy Against AIDS later on that night at Grand Piata with artists, live band, DJ. And we will be doing testing at the club.
Yeah, and I also saw that there's like Walgreens across the country that are doing a lot of free testing. And if you're not comfortable with doing it in public, they have the home kits as well.
They have the home kits that you can, you could take a kit and go home and take a test.
Know your status.
Okay.
Yes.
Maria, are you on Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff?
I am, but I'm so terrible with that.
Okay. So what about the iDesign website?
Yes, you can. iDesign website is projectidesign.com, and it's to encourage people that's living with HIV, but it's also it's a great resource for people that are living with HIV or someone you may know living with HIV. And you can download, they have so much information and educational tools that you can take into the doctor's office with you to help you have that open and honest conversation with your doctor about how you're doing and feeling on your healthcare treatment. So like I said, this is a tool that I did not have. So I'm so honored to be a spokesperson along with Mondo Guerrera from Project Runway,
Right.
who announced on television during that season that he was HIV positive, and another young man named Dwayne Kramer, who's another fantastic HIV activist. All of us are survivors, and he's also a world-renowned photographer.
Wow. Well, and Maria, you do have a Twitter. Your
Yeah.
Twitter is Maria Speaks, the number 2,
Yes.
and the letter U.
Yes.
Maria Speaks to You, and you can hashtag Project I Design.
Yes.
Okay, Maria, I want to thank you for
Yes.
coming by.
Thank you, Sway.
Okay.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too, Maria.
No, I love you more.
I doubt it. You can't beat
And
that.
I love Kelly, and I love Heather too.
Okay,
We all love
well,
you.
Heather's
Thank you
right
for coming.
outside. And to all the folks that's calling, thank you for your calls. Leave voicemails for us at 888-742-3345. Kelly Kincaid, thank you for that first date.
Thank you. Know your status, everyone.
Okay, up next we got Bill Bellamy. He's going to be joining us. He got a tour that he's on. If you want to talk with Bill, give us about 4 minutes. He's up next. Sway in the Morning, Shade 4.
It's Sway in the morning, only
On Shade 45.